guys, Tim here with mytrainer.com, and today I wanted to continue a little bit more of what I've been talking about my last couple of videos. I've been talking about setting up your own workouts, creating your own programs, giving you some things like frequency. Actually, I don't think I've had that one in there. Sets, reps, rest periods, and then the different kind of goals that you've been looking to achieve, whether it be to get bigger, to get stronger, have more endurance, stuff like that. And I'm kind of giving you some general parameters on that, kind of some low ends and then some high ends and that kind of deal. And today what I wanted to do is really target it more towards a beginner's workout. Because some of the parameters that I had in there, the sets and the reps and things like that for the general, if you're just going to the gym and just starting out, if you try to do too much at one, too much to start with, you could really end up hurting yourself, which is obviously going to, make you not want to go anymore. Because if you're hurt, you're too sore to go in, or you actually have, get a real injury, you're probably not going to go back. And that's one of the things that we want to try to prevent. We want you to be successful if you're starting out on your own. So we're going to talk about that a little bit right now. So what we're going to talk about first is frequency. How many times a week should you go? A lot of people, somebody who's really into fitness, they go, maybe 5-6 times a week. There's some people that go every day. It just depends on what they're doing, what their goals are, and then some people are just crazy. So what I recommend for a beginner is 2 to 3 times a week. See what's going to fit in with your schedule. Okay. You don't have to go all crazy on it. If you have the time and you want to go more often, that is possible. But if you're just starting out, your body's probably only going to really like 2 to 3 times a week. Especially if you're, and I guess this kind of depends a little bit on age too. Maybe I should have put that on there. Age can affect that a little bit. You're a lot more, a lot more resilient when you're younger. As you get a little bit older, if you're in your 30s, 40s, and so on, your body might take a little bit longer to recover. I'm 40 years old, and I have noticed it on, heavy days. I tend to take a little bit longer to recover than I think I used to. So frequency, maybe 2 to 3 times a week. Split. Really, I just kind of talk about what you might want to do, because you might not know how to set it up. I would go with a whole body approach, maybe a couple upper and a couple lower exercises each day. You could split it up too if you did one day where you did your upper type stuff, upper body stuff, and then you could do a day where you did lower type stuff, and then your third day could be some cardio, or if you want to do some abs, that kind of thing. Kind of split it up, or what I would probably recommend is just having a couple upper body, a couple lower body, and we'll talk about a number of exercises down here, but a couple upper body, a couple lower body, and maybe a little treadmill or elliptical work just to kind of get your heart rate up a little bit more and call it good. Sets on that, we're working on 2 to 3 sets per exercise. I guess I put or less, so 3 sets per exercise or less. Some of the parameters on some of the other ones, would have 4 or 5 sets on it. Yes, that is the kind of the ranges for some of the things I was talking about with size and strength. But if you're just starting out, you're not there yet. Even if your goal is strength or your goal is just to get bigger, you're still not there as far as the volume is concerned. You got to work up to it. So I would recommend 3 sets to start out, or less, depending on how you feel. If you do 2 sets, if you're doing 3 sets on the first couple exercises and then you get to the last one, you only really feel like you can do 2, then just do 2. Just doing something is going to make a difference, like we said in the other videos. Doing something is going to make a difference. You could not know anything and go in there and do something, and you're going to see some change. We're trying to get it to where you're going to see some healthy change. Reps. Again, this kind of depends on your goal, like we was talking about with strength. If you're building size, endurance, I have 6 to 12 here. I think this is going to be a good range just to start with anyway. Meaning, because I'm kind of thinking on your intensity here. Even if you're going for strength, you really don't want to be in there doing heavy weight for yourself which it might even be too heavy, and only going for a couple reps and you're just starting out. So we want to keep this kind of higher to start out with, to really kind of build that foundation, really get your your muscles used to working, get your joints used to working, especially if you're doing like squats or something, get those knees used to working before we really start putting a lot of weight on it. And then keeping that higher rep range is going to keep you from putting like super heavy weight on it. Rest periods, and not to mention, on here you're going, if we're doing 3 sets per exercise, if you're doing 3 sets of 12, you might, that still might be too much volume. So you might only end up doing 2 sets of 12, for an exercise or something like that. So these kind of come into play there as well. But if you look at my other videos, you can kind of see here the range, and if you're going for strength, then maybe your rep range would be 6. If you were going for size, since we said it was a higher rep range, and you might be in the 10 to 12 area up here. So rest periods. I put the 30 on there. If you're able to do that, that's just going to keep your intensity up, as far as fat burning, and then keeping your heart rate up. But this would also be more for your endurance, so you are going to be lifting super lightweight. But anyway, you get anywhere from 30 seconds to 5 minutes. If you're lifting in this range here, you're probably going to be in the 1.5 to 2 minute range. If you just feel extremely fatigued because you're just starting out, you got to remember your body's not going to be used to this. Don't feel bad about taking a 5 minute rest or 4 minute rest. It doesn't have to be exactly 5. And again, this is I had it depending on your goal. When we were going for strength, we had longer rest periods. When we were going for size, we had shorter rest periods, and then even shorter for endurance. So kind of keep that in mind, but I want to kind of give you a starting range there. Number of exercises to start with, I put 3 to 4, and we're talking, if you're working out 3 times a week, 2 to 3 times a week. I said here maybe upper and lower, so maybe 2 upper body exercises and 2 lower body exercises, or 3 upper body and 1 lower. You could kind of split that up, and you could maybe go up to 5 on that if you put like your 5th one was maybe doing some abs, or you could even include like a cardio session after that. That kind of counts as another exercise. So but you want to keep this low, and you may even be able to handle more volume than that. But again, we're trying to start, because you're going to feel okay at first when you're doing it. You're going to get fatigued very quickly, but you're not really going to get these effects until a couple days into it, and then it's really going to hit your body. So we want you to be able to do your workout, your first week, and then be able to go in and do your workout again your second week, and not have any aches and pains. You're gonna have a little aches and pains that come with it in general, but not have any real aches and pains to where you might actually have hurt yourself. Something else I put up here, this is kind of going for your weight increase. When you are doing this and you do see that you're able to get your 6 reps fairly easier, you want to go up a little weight. This is kind of a range here. They call it a 2 for 2 rule, basically meaning if your goal is 3 sets of 6, and this particular day you were able to get that 3 sets of 6, and you actually went up a couple more, you were able to get 3 sets of 8. So basically what it is, 2 for 2. If your goal was 6 and you were able to get 8, if your goal is 9, you're able to get 11, basically adding 2 for 2 consecutive sets, then that is a time where you can start to raise your weight a little bit. How much do you raise it? For upper, we don't recommend any more than 5 pounds, and we're not necessarily talking about 5-pound plate like if you're doing bench on each side. We're talking about a 2.5. We're talking about a total of 5 pounds. Lower, you can go a little bit higher, 10 pounds, so that would be, like if I'm talking about squats, you can put a 5-pound plate on each side. You really don't want to increase too much quicker than that, even if you think you can, because you want to be safe. You don't want to go, well, that was super easy, and put another 25 pounds on each side for your squat, and then you're only able to get 1 and you're struggling and you have horrible form. Because, again, we want to do this safely. We want to do it with correct form so we get the most out of our workouts. So we might talk about that a little bit more, but this just want to give you a little quick review on that. So no more than 5 pounds on your upper, and then no more than 10 pounds on your lower. So hopefully this will help you out a little bit if you're designing your own program. You know, these are some good, like I said, basic parameters that can get you going without, you know, shouldn't really have any fear of injuring yourself on this. I mean, we're keeping it pretty safe, letting our body heal, letting it recover, not taxing it too much in the beginning. And then as you progress, then you can start to, you know, to up these into more of what I was discussing in some of my previous videos. If you ever have any issues, you know, feel free to reach out to us at mytrainer.com. We do have online program as well if you feel like you just need some one-on-one. I mean, we design a program for you, tailored to you, nutrition plan, you know, you get coaching calls, that kind of thing. So we really try to work through it with you. So if you have any questions, like I said, hit us up. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll be doing some more shortly. Thanks.